Off the coast of East Africa, nestled in the warm turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean, lies a truly remarkable place. This is the Zanzibar archipelago. It is a collection of islands, each a jewel of nature, where life moves to the gentle rhythm of the tides. The largest islands, Unguja and Pemba, are surrounded by smaller, often uninhabited islets, creating a landscape of breathtaking beauty. Here, the air is thick with the scent of tropical flowers and the distant aroma of sea salt. The coastline is a masterpiece, with brilliant white sands that stretch for miles, meeting the crystal-clear ocean in a gentle embrace. This is a world where nature's artistry is on full display, a sanctuary of peace and vibrant life. The natural world of Zanzibar is simply astonishing. Imagine walking through lush green forests where sunlight filters through the canopy, illuminating a world teeming with life. The Jozani Forest is one such place, a vital habitat for creatures found nowhere else on Earth. The coastlines are fringed with ancient mangrove forests, their tangled roots providing a crucial nursery for countless marine species. Beneath the ocean's surface, a kaleidoscope of color awaits. Coral reefs, some of the most diverse in the world, form underwater cities bustling with fish of every shape and size. This archipelago is not just a place of beauty, it is a living, breathing ecosystem, a delicate web of life that has evolved over millennia. The islands themselves are formed from coral limestone, a testament to their marine origins. This unique geology has shaped the landscape, creating gentle hills and fertile plains where agriculture has flourished for centuries. The climate is wonderfully tropical, with two distinct rainy seasons that replenish the land and keep it perpetually green. The sun shines generously throughout the year, warming the sands and the sea, inviting all who visit to slow down and appreciate the simple wonders of this place. The gentle trade winds, known as the monsoons, have for centuries guided sailors to these shores, carrying with them new cultures, ideas, and goods, making Zanzibar a crossroads of the world. From the moment one arrives, there is a sense of stepping into another world, a place where time seems to slow. The sounds of the islands are a symphony of nature and gentle human activity. The call of exotic birds from the treetops, the rustle of palm fronds in the sea breeze, and the distant laughter of children playing on the beach all combine to create an atmosphere of profound tranquility. This is the essence of Zanzibar, a place of extraordinary natural beauty, where the land and the sea have come together to create a haven of unparalleled serenity and wonder. It is a world that captivates the senses and soothes the soul, a true paradise on earth. The story of Zanzibar is as old as the coastal winds that have blown across its shores for millennia. Its history does not begin with written records, but with the faint whispers of the past, carried in ancient stone tools and fragments of pottery. Archaeological evidence suggests that humans have inhabited these islands for at least 20,000 years. These early people were likely hunter-gatherers, living in harmony with the rich natural environment, fishing in the bountiful ocean and foraging in the dense forests. They understood the rhythms of the seasons and the secrets of the land, laying the very first human foundations on this idyllic archipelago long before the first ships from distant lands appeared on the horizon. Over time, these early communities evolved. Around the first millennium, Bantu-speaking peoples began arriving from the African mainland. They were skilled farmers and iron workers, bringing with them new technologies and ways of life. They cleared small plots of land to cultivate crops like sorghum and millet, and they built small, settled villages. These communities formed the bedrock of Zanzibar's indigenous population, establishing a deep and lasting connection to the land. Their legacy can still be seen today in the language and traditions of the islands, a testament to their resilience and their profound understanding of this unique island environment. Their arrival marked a significant turning point in the archipelago's human story. The strategic location of Zanzibar, perfectly positioned along the Indian Ocean trade routes, meant that it was destined to become a hub of interaction. The monsoon winds, blowing predictably from the northeast in the winter and the southwest in the summer, were like a natural conveyor belt for ancient mariners. Traders from Arabia, Persia, and India learned to harness these winds, sailing their wooden dhows across the vast ocean to the shores of East Africa. Zanzibar became a vital stopover point, a place to rest, resupply, and trade. These early interactions planted the seeds for the vibrant, multicultural society that would later define the islands. This constant flow of people and ideas gave rise to one of Africa's most fascinating civilizations, the Swahili culture. It was not a culture of conquest, but one of fusion. The local Bantu traditions blended harmoniously with the customs, beliefs, and languages of the Arab and Persian traders. This beautiful synthesis gave birth to the Swahili language, a Bantu language enriched with Arabic words, and to a unique architectural style, a distinctive cuisine, and a shared Islamic faith. Stone Town, with its labyrinthine alleys and ornately carved doors, is a living monument to this remarkable period of peaceful and prosperous cultural exchange that shaped the very soul of Zanzibar. The winds of change blew stronger as the centuries passed, and new powers from across the seas set their sights on Zanzibar's strategic shores. In the late 15th century, the first European ships appeared on the horizon. These were the Portuguese, bold explorers on a quest to establish a direct sea route to the spice-rich lands of the East. They saw Zanzibar not as a partner in trade, but as a prize to be won, a crucial outpost to control the lucrative Indian Ocean trade network. In the early 1500s, they asserted their dominance, building forts and imposing taxes, marking a dramatic and often brutal chapter in the island's history. Their rule lasted for nearly 2 centuries, a period of conflict that disrupted the peaceful Swahili trade networks. The Portuguese grip on the region, however, was not to last forever. A new power was rising in the Arabian Peninsula, the Omani Sultanate. Responding to appeals from the Swahili city-states, the Omani Arabs began a campaign to drive the Portuguese out of East Africa. By the late 17th century, they had succeeded, and Zanzibar fell under Omani influence. This marked the beginning of a new and transformative era for the archipelago. The Omanis were not just conquerors, they were savvy traders and administrators who recognized the immense potential of the islands. They re-established the old trade routes and began to invest in the local economy, setting the stage for Zanzibar's golden age. The most significant moment in this period came in 1832, when the visionary Sultan of Oman, Sayyid Said bin Sultan, made a monumental decision. So captivated was he by Zanzibar's beauty, climate, and economic promise that he moved his entire court from Muscat to the island of Unguja. He declared Zanzibar the new capital of his vast Omani empire. This single act transformed the archipelago from a distant colony into the very heart of a powerful maritime kingdom. Stone Town flourished under his rule, becoming a bustling and cosmopolitan city, its harbor filled with dhows from Arabia and ships from Europe and America, all eager to trade. Under the sultans, Zanzibar entered an era of unprecedented prosperity, but this wealth came at a terrible human cost. The Omani rulers established vast plantations, and to work them, they dramatically expanded the slave trade. Zanzibar became the largest slave market in East Africa, a center of immense human suffering where countless men, women, and children were bought and sold. This dark legacy is an undeniable part of Zanzibar's history, a stark contrast to the fragrant spices and architectural beauty for which the islands became famous. It was a period of great wealth and great sorrow, a complex chapter whose echoes still resonate in the islands today. It was under the Omani Sultans that Zanzibar truly earned its romantic and evocative nickname, the Spice Islands. Recognizing the fertile soil and ideal tropical climate, Sultan Sayyid Said initiated a bold agricultural experiment. He decreed that landowners must plant clove trees, even offering incentives to encourage their cultivation. The experiment was a spectacular success. The clove tree, native to the distant Moluccas, thrived in Zanzibar's rich earth. Soon, the islands of Unguja and Pemba were covered in vast, fragrant plantations. The air itself became perfumed with the sweet, pungent aroma of drying cloves, a scent that would become synonymous with Zanzibar and its immense wealth. The clove trade became the cornerstone of Zanzibar's economy, transforming the archipelago into the world's leading producer of this highly prized spice. For decades, Zanzibar supplied the vast majority of the global demand for cloves, which were sought after in kitchens, pharmacies, and perfume houses across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. This monopoly generated enormous fortunes for the Sultan and the landowning elite. The wealth from the King of Spices funded the construction of the magnificent palaces and grand houses that still adorn Stone Town, turning the city into a symbol of power and opulence. The entire economic and social structure of the islands revolved around the seasonal rhythm of the clove harvest. But cloves were not the only treasure growing in Zanzibar's fertile soil. The sultans and plantation owners also introduced a variety of other valuable spices from around the world. Nutmeg, cinnamon, and black pepper vines were planted, adding to the island's aromatic bounty. Walking through the countryside became a sensory journey, with the air carrying a complex medley of scents. Spice farms, or shambas as they are known locally, became a key feature of the landscape. These plantations were not just agricultural enterprises, they were living laboratories of botany and commerce, showcasing Zanzibar's incredible capacity to cultivate the flavors that the world craved. Today, while cloves are no longer the dominant economic force they once were, the legacy of the Spice Islands lives on. Spice farm tours are a major attraction for visitors, offering a fascinating glimpse into this vital part of Zanzibar's heritage. On these tours, one can see, touch, and taste the spices directly from the plants. The fiery heat of a peppercorn, the earthy sweetness of a cinnamon stick, the complex fragrance of a crushed nutmeg seed. This living history connects the present day to the era when the fate of this small archipelago was shaped by the global demand for its fragrant treasures, a time when Zanzibar's wealth grew on the branches of its spice trees. The 19th century was a period of immense change for the entire world, and Zanzibar was no exception. The great European powers, particularly Great Britain, were expanding their influence across the globe. Driven by a combination of commercial interests and, a moral crusade to abolish the slave trade, Britain began to exert increasing pressure on the Sultanate of Zanzibar. In 1890, through a series of treaties and political maneuvers, Zanzibar was declared a British protectorate. Although the Sultan remained the official head of state, real power now rested with the British resident. This marked the end of Zanzibar's independence and the beginning of a new chapter under colonial administration, which would last for over 70 years. The winds of independence began to sweep across Africa after the Second World War, and Zanzibar was caught up in this powerful movement. The desire for self-rule grew stronger among the islanders, leading to the rise of various political parties. After a period of political negotiation and tension, Zanzibar was finally granted independence from Britain in December 1963, becoming a constitutional monarchy under the Sultan once again. However, this newfound independence was to be incredibly short-lived. The political situation on the islands was volatile, with deep-seated tensions between the Arab elite and the majority African population. Just 1 month later, in January 1964, the Zanzibar Revolution erupted. This swift and violent uprising overthrew the Sultan and his government, ending centuries of Arab dominance on the islands. The revolution was led by the Afro-Shirazi Party and marked a fundamental shift in the social and political landscape of Zanzibar. It was a momentous and tumultuous event that radically redefined the nation's identity, paving the way for a completely new political structure. The revolution established the People's Republic of Zanzibar, with Abeid Karume as its first president, heralding an era of profound social and economic reform. In the aftermath of the revolution, another historic event took place. On April 26, 1964, the leaders of Zanzibar and the neighboring mainland nation of Tanganyika, led by President Julius Nyerere, signed the Articles of Union. This momentous agreement merged the two independent states to create a single sovereign nation, the United Republic of Tanzania. This union was a landmark event in post-colonial African history, a bold step towards Pan-African unity. While Zanzibar retained its own semi-autonomous government, president, and House of Representatives, it became part of a larger federal republic, forever linking its destiny with that of the mainland and beginning its modern journey as part of Tanzania. As the global economy shifted and the spice trade became less dominant, Zanzibar needed to find a new source of prosperity. The islands possessed an incredible, largely untapped resource: their unparalleled natural beauty, rich history, and unique culture. In the late 20th century, Zanzibar began to open its doors to the world, and international travelers started discovering this hidden gem in the Indian Ocean. The same pristine beaches, clear waters, and historic alleyways that had enchanted sailors for centuries now began to attract a new kind of visitor: the tourist. This marked the dawn of a new economic era for the archipelago, one built not on cloves, but on experiences. The growth of tourism has been nothing short of explosive, transforming the island's economy in just a few decades. By 2024, the number of international visitors had soared to over 736,000, and this trend continues to climb. The figures for early 2025 show even more remarkable growth, with arrivals increasing significantly from key markets in Europe, Africa, and even emerging markets like China and India. Today, tourism is the lifeblood of Zanzibar's economy. It accounts for approximately one-third of the island's entire gross domestic product and has become the single largest source of foreign currency, bringing in over $1 billion in revenue by mid-2024. This influx of capital supports countless aspects of modern life on the islands. This tourism boom has created a wealth of opportunities for the local population. It has spurred the development of new infrastructure, including modern hotels, guest houses, and restaurants, providing jobs for thousands of people. From hotel managers and tour guides to taxi drivers, shopkeepers, and local artisans selling their crafts, the economic benefits of tourism ripple through the entire community. The average visitor stays for about a week, spending money on accommodation, food, excursions, and souvenirs, which directly supports local families and businesses. The government has actively encouraged this growth, hosting events like the Zanzibar Tourism and Investment Show to attract even more international interest and investment. However, this rapid expansion is not without its challenges. The sheer number of visitors puts pressure on the island's resources and infrastructure. While the demand for accommodation is high, the occupancy rate in April 2025 was still relatively low at just under 28%, indicating a need for strategic planning to manage supply and demand effectively. The government and tourism stakeholders are increasingly aware that the very assets that attract visitors, the pristine environment and authentic culture, must be carefully managed. The story of tourism in Zanzibar is one of incredible success, but it is also a story that highlights the urgent need for a sustainable and thoughtful approach to development. The very things that make Zanzibar so enchanting, its vibrant coral reefs, ancient forests, and unique wildlife, are also incredibly fragile. The rapid growth of tourism and the increasing population have placed immense pressure on this delicate natural balance. The threats are many: coastal erosion from poorly planned construction, marine pollution from waste and deforestation, to make way for new developments. The government, under President Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has recognized that protecting this natural heritage is not just an environmental issue, but an economic necessity. The future of Zanzibar's tourism industry depends entirely on the health of its ecosystems, which are the main attraction for so many visitors. One of the most iconic symbols of Zanzibar's unique biodiversity is the endemic Zanzibar red colobus monkey. This charming primate, with its distinctive coat and long tail, is found nowhere else on Earth. Its primary home is the Jozani Chwaka Bay National Park, a protected area that stands as a beacon of conservation success. Efforts to protect this endangered species have been crucial, involving habitat preservation and community education programs. Protecting the red colobus means protecting its entire forest home, which in turn supports a vast web of other life, from rare birds to unique insects. The park serves as a living classroom, demonstrating how conservation and ecotourism can work hand in hand. The world beneath the waves is another of Zanzibar's priceless treasures. The coral reefs surrounding the islands are bustling underwater metropolises, but they are highly vulnerable to climate change, which causes coral bleaching and to destructive fishing practices. In response, several marine protected areas have been established, such as the Mnemba Island Conservation Area. These protected zones act as sanctuaries where marine life can recover and thrive. They restrict fishing and other harmful activities, allowing the coral to regenerate and fish populations to rebound. These efforts not only preserve biodiversity, but also support sustainable tourism activities like snorkeling and diving, which rely on a healthy marine environment. The path forward for Zanzibar lies in embracing the principles of sustainable and eco-friendly tourism. This involves a collaborative effort between the government, the private sector, and local communities. It means investing in better waste management systems, promoting renewable energy, and ensuring that new hotel developments are built in an environmentally sensitive way. It also involves empowering local communities to become stewards of their natural resources, so they see a direct benefit from conservation. The challenge is to ensure that the blue economy, the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, benefits everyone while preserving the natural magic of the archipelago for generations to come. To truly understand Zanzibar, one must look beyond its beautiful beaches and into the faces and stories of its people. The culture of the islands is a rich and vibrant tapestry, woven from countless threads of different origins over more than 1,000 years. It is a place where Africa, Arabia, India, and Europe have met and mingled, creating a society that is wonderfully unique. This cultural fusion is not a thing of the past. It is a living, breathing reality that can be seen, heard, and tasted every single day. The spirit of Zanzibar is found in its harmonious blend of traditions, a testament to its long history as a crossroads of the world. The most visible expression of this cultural mosaic is Stone Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking through its narrow, winding alleys is like traveling through time and across continents. Here, Omani Arab architecture, with its grand houses and heavy, intricately carved wooden doors, stands alongside buildings with Indian-inspired verandas and decorative stucco work. The air is filled with the call to prayer from historic mosques, the chatter of Swahili in the marketplaces, and the aromas of spices used in both local and international cuisine. Stonetown is not a museum. It is a vibrant urban center where history and modern life are intertwined in the most captivating way. The Swahili language itself is a perfect embodiment of this cultural fusion. Its grammatical structure is fundamentally Bantu, the language of the earliest inhabitants from the African mainland. However, its vocabulary is richly peppered with words borrowed from Arabic, Persian, Portuguese, and even English. This linguistic blend tells the story of Zanzibar's history, of the traders, sailors, and rulers who came to its shores and left their mark. Music and dance also reflect this diverse heritage. The rhythms of Tarab music, with its haunting melodies and poetic lyrics, combine African, Arab, and Indian influences into a sound that is uniquely Zanzibari. This blend of cultures extends to the daily lives and traditions of the people. Religious tolerance is a cornerstone of the society, with a predominantly Muslim population living peacefully alongside Christians, Hindus, and followers of other faiths. Festivals and celebrations from Eid al-Fitr to Christmas are often shared and respected by the entire community. The local cuisine is another delicious example of this synthesis, combining African staples like cassava and plantains with the spices of the East, the coconut-based curries of India, and the culinary traditions of Persia. This rich cultural heritage is Zanzibar's greatest treasure, the very soul that gives the islands their unique and irresistible charm. As Zanzibar looks towards the future, it stands at a critical juncture. The islands have achieved remarkable economic success, driven almost entirely by the phenomenal growth of the tourism industry. This has brought prosperity and opportunity to many, lifting communities and funding the development of modern infrastructure. The increasing number of international arrivals from across the globe, as seen in the impressive statistics of 2024 and 2025, paints a picture of a destination on the rise, a place that has successfully captured the world's imagination. The future appears bright, with a thriving economy and growing global recognition. However, this rapid development presents a profound challenge: how to balance economic growth with the preservation of the very assets that make Zanzibar so special. The delicate ecosystems, from the coral reefs to the indigenous forests, are under constant strain. The unique cultural fabric of the islands, particularly in historic areas like Stonetown, is also vulnerable to the pressures of mass tourism. The key question for Zanzibar's leaders and its people is whether they can continue this upward trajectory of growth without sacrificing their natural and cultural heritage. Finding this balance is the most important task for the coming decades. The solution lies in a commitment to sustainability. This means more than just protecting the environment. It means fostering a model of tourism that is responsible, respectful, and beneficial for local communities. It requires careful urban and coastal planning to prevent overdevelopment, robust policies to manage waste and protect water resources, and continued investment in conservation initiatives like the protection of the red colobus monkey and marine parks. It also means encouraging a type of tourism that values authentic cultural experiences and supports local artisans, farmers, and entrepreneurs, ensuring that the economic benefits are distributed more widely. Ultimately, the future of Zanzibar will be shaped by the choices made today. The islands possess a unique blend of natural beauty, a deep and complex history, and a vibrant, welcoming culture. This is a powerful combination that has captivated the world, By embracing sustainable practices, by investing in the protection of its heritage, and by ensuring that development is inclusive and thoughtful, Zanzibar can navigate the challenges ahead. It can build a future where a thriving economy coexists with a healthy environment and a resilient culture, ensuring that this archipelago of wonders remains a paradise for both its residents and its visitors for many generations to come.